Did you know orcas eat dolphins?
Yeah, of course.
I hate that.
Yeah, I do.
What?
Yeah.
Killer whales, they eat dolphins.
Well, that's just why they call them
Dolphins eat
killer.
whales?
No, whales eat dolphins. Well, actually, fun
They
fact.
probably might.
The orca is a member of the
don't
dolphin
like that
family.
story anymore.
Right over your freshly cut head.
Thank you. By the way,
Aerodynamic.
how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Multiplayer Mode, Episode 5. Get a little soft cloud. We made it 5 episodes. Let's go. Let's go.
Can you eventually we're going to be like, remember when we clapped for 5 episodes?
Yeah.
It'll
Dude,
be
5
it'll-
episodes, it's more than 4.
It is more than 4. Also,
Not quite 6.
also more than 3, though, as well.
That's important.
Studies say also more than 2.
Good distinction.
My name is
fair.
Hype Stadium, also known as Nick. And what is your name today?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. My name is Justin, but you can also call me Johnny Appleseed because Daddy's got an orchard right out back.
I'm done.
The fact
I'm
that
done.
you think about these ahead of time and then decide to actually say them is crazy to me. He wasn't just this happy-go-lucky dude that was
And you
just
knew that was his
spreading
type of
joy
tree.
through apples. He's like, that's mine, that's mine.
Johnny
that's
Appleseed's a piece of shit is all I know from this.
We made it a minute. I think we're good. Let's go. All right, we're here with.
I'm feeling here. I am here. I am feeling that I'm here. I'm Scotty Two Hands, otherwise known as Scotty Two Tits, and we're gonna go ahead and talk to our network master over here.
Oh my God. I make one comment about some future state type stuff and they
You got him over the minute, though.
It's all
That was
the
all
guy-
because of you.
I'm like, why are we dragging on this story? Like, what is the benefit?
It was safe. It
Never
was safe.
mind.
I
We
didn't
got a
Scotty Two
minute.
Tits
It
would be
was
good.
safe.
listen, the entire viewership of our podcast is better now that they know that Johnny
Dude,
Appleseed is a dickhead.
You learn something new
Or
every
was.
single day.
Rip.
I'm for it.
And I'm Ridge.
And if
Nice to meet you.
You're
Rich.
rich.
I wish.
Oh,
And we are multiplayer mode, episode 5. Let's get it, guys.
Player 3 right here.
So excited for today. And the reason why I'm excited is
we hear it?
because we got so many juicy announcements for a bunch of things that I absolutely love.
Yeah. We had to be agile and change
had to.
this week so we could talk about all this stuff that just dropped last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in football terms, they call it an audible.
Oh.
We made an audible.
It's a sports thing.
Sports, sports
We did
ball.
do that.
it's that
Sports
one that
ball.
throw.
hockey?
It's
That's
kinda
hockey.
Yeah, yeah.
That's hockey. Yeah.
Hockey,
We're gonna-
foosball,
Talk about a hole in one.
We're gonna score a touch net.
Guys, so let's backtrack really quick. Okay, let's backtrack really quick. Let's go back in time to episode 1,
Oh, let's go.
I've been there.
where we made a few little Nostradamus-esque type
scheming
things.
dumbass.
One of those things was our friend Justin. What's his name? Johnny Appleseed.
He doesn't want it.
Melts
now,
in your
though.
mouth, not in your hand.
I want it more than ever.
Johnny Appleseed had this prediction along the lines of a certain thing with a certain company called Nintendo, and if he would like to kind of go off of what happened.
Yeah, sure. Episode 1, I wanted to bring something to the table, and there were rumors out there, and they were very much so rumors, and I had pieced a few things together, and I presented it on episode 1 regarding the history of Switch. Or the future of where we think that the next Switch iteration would be going. Sure. So we were able here recently, just yesterday, confirmed by Bloomberg, and their resources. Actually, their reporter here on screen is Emily Rogers. Emily Rogers was able to provide the internet folks like
Very,
us.
very credible. Emily Rogers is very
Reputable.
credible.
Yes, she is. She has a
Reputable
great
source.
history, and obviously she's with Bloomberg. This is a legitimate company.
Checked and confirmed. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Pause here, check, confirm. Yeah. Anyways, but what we're going to talk about is what's in the content of this, and then actually it matches up with episode 1 eerily, like spot on. It's
What
really,
he's saying
really
is
good.
he told the future.
I felt there was a frequency that was interacting with my frontal lobe, and I just downloaded it and presented it on episode 1. I'm just joking.
Would you say that the rumor was a apple seed which grew into a strong truth? Reality that is an apple tree.
I like what you're saying.
Sure.
All right. So
Yeah, what was the announcement?
yes, let's go into
Did
the
we even
announcement.
say that yet?
I don't even like what I just said.
Everybody's
All
like,
right,
go ahead
let's
and
get to
go
the
ahead and cut
facts.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that.
something that Bloomberg was able to confirm here, and Nintendo hasn't confirmed this yet.
They haven't confirmed it, but it looks very close.
When you have a source like this pointing things out, and they should be confirming this before E3 as well. So it goes as far as to say that. So no more timelines. 4K potential in docked mode, just like I predicted.
Yep.
Handheld will be OLED with a 720 resolution.
Okay, so we're still going to stick with the 720.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's going to help them be able to manage the new future catalog and any lower content there before.
Yeah.
So it makes sense from a development standpoint.
And it's
Saves
also
them a lot of
probably
time.
going to help with the price as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's good to call out what you get from OLED, right? I don't want to just gloss over this. So it's going to make that 720p look very crisp. You're going to be impressed. You're going to think it's a better resolution just from the quality of the OLED. And not only that, you're going to get higher nits, better brightness. And then we're going to go ahead and round that home with more efficient battery. Right.
Yeah.
So and that's really the hidden gem.
It's a must-have.
It's what matters the most. And with this type of hybrid technology, battery rules them all. And we've seen the battery be upgraded since when it first came out. The launch one was 2 hours. And then we had the 2-year update. You got 3 hours on the battery with some software updates and I think maybe some silicon changes. And who knows where this is going to go next.
Yeah.
You're only going to get probably more performance, similar, if not better battery life. So
Yeah. So the original Nintendo Switch is between like 3 to 5 hours. You could play undocked. Then
Depending on the game.
Yeah.
That's
Then
that
they
big range.
extended it a little bit to about 2 extra hours after that. So hopefully, if we can get even more, that'd be great. I'm curious when they switched the Nintendo Switch from like the original one to like the newer one, but they didn't really like advertise anything.
Yeah.
What they did is I believe they switched the processor, but not to the only reason was to extend the battery life. So they didn't really change anything except the processor.
Sure.
But it was specifically for
So
the battery life.
was the same.
Yes.
And they were able to consume less energy with new
It was newer
chips.
technology.
Yeah,
Exactly.
New silicon, basically, because the screen didn't change.
No.
So we're going to get a new raw bump with battery due to less power. And I believe the screen is probably second behind processing power in what draws energy. Fact check me on that.
Sure.
Making some assumptions, but this
out.
OLED really is going to change the game because I believe it's I believe it's over 100% more efficient. It's like double, nearly doubling.
Yeah, we can look into it. I didn't want to make 2 points. The first one being, for anybody that didn't watch episode 1, we would encourage you, of course, to go do that. Just so you can
Please
kinda
do.
make a comparison. But if you don't do that, the thing we need to call out is, Justin was kind of trying to plan and guess what we were going to see in the future of the Switch in terms of what next console they're going to come out with.
Yes.
In terms of names, we'll get to that in a moment, I think. But yeah, so just so everyone knows what
set
we're
the ground
talking
rules.
about.
I love
We're
it.
talking about the next iteration of the Switch, what that looks like. Now, the other thing I want to point out too, just to make a point on the 720,
Please,
is
yeah.
that it makes sense in mobile to have a 720 on top of the points that you made, because upscaling a resolution that it's already given doesn't do us any good, right? I mean, obviously the screen can be better, but if you've got 720 content, you upscale that to 4K, it'll be bigger, but that's literally all that changes, right? Because you can't really change content because the things that's displaying it is better. So that's something that's important to note. So if you upscale something, it only upscales to fit the screen.
Sure.
It doesn't increase the pixels, of course. Obviously the new games and things will hopefully utilize the 4K option when it's stocked. But
I think Nintendo will utilize
it
whatever
makes
it can
sense
do.
because if you want to play those games, saying, okay, well, we've upscaled everything to 1080 or we've upscaled everything to 4K, it doesn't actually add much other than it just makes it bigger.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think it would be
Bigger
upscaling.
screen,
I think it'd be
too.
two completely different things. When you play docked, it's a completely different experience than it is if it is not docked.
Right. Well, I was talking exclusively undocked. As he was saying, he's
Got it.
thinking it's going to be in a 720 aspect ratio undocked.
Right.
And I think that makes a lot of sense
Yes.
because it doesn't matter if what you're serving to the screen is 720.
Right.
If it shows 4K in your hand, okay, it's just gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
That's literally all it does. You don't get more pixels.
Oh, I
because
see
you've
what you're saying.
upscaled it.
Yeah, especially when it is those smaller screens. Like if we're talking about like a 60, 65 inch screen, you're gonna want 4K. It's gonna look better. It's
You'll
gonna
know.
look,
You'll know. It's very
much
noticeable
more
difference.
Exactly. It's
for
much
sure.
more noticeable. I am curious as to where we're gonna go with this, because Nintendo could do, I think, one of two things are the big possibilities. The first thing they could do is treat it as the new Nintendo 3DS. So Nintendo went really crazy with the 3DS. It started as not very popular. They brought the price down a little bit. Then they came out the 2DS to make even that more affordable.
First
Things
the
were coming
XL
out.
though, right?
Yeah.
XL then 2DS.
Yes.
Yep.
And then we went the 2DS XL, which was basically you could flip it now, just like the 3DS, except there was no option to obviously put in the 3D mode.
Yeah.
Then we came out with something called the new 3DS
XL.
Yes, and
Yeah.
what that did was there's actually specific games that would only play on that. It was very, very few. I think one of them was Xenoblade. I could be wrong there. And
I just recently sold my new XL 3DS.
Okay.
So I had one, but I didn't know there were games that were specific to just that
I
console.
want to say there was one or two. I could be wrong.
I think
there.
they muddied the waters a bit, though. I think they're going to be way more streamlined with the Switch. I think that's a smarter play to say, like, the fact that you had to go, then there was this one, and then that one, that isn't smart. They need to say, here's our lineup, right? Here's I want to play mobile, but I don't want to spend a ton of money. They want to say, I want to
Exactly.
play mobile and docked, but I don't want to spend as much money. And then I'm the gamer that wants the best of the best. And I think that's what we're discussing.
And I mean,
Exactly.
really, from a business standpoint, when you develop your games that way, when you're serving the mobile and the docked all in one, the home console experience, the mobile experience, you save money on R&D. You're saving money on all types of things. So it's good for shareholders as well. You're getting capital from two different gaming potentials, mobile and home.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah, so it's easier in-house and it's easier to draw in money. All right, so
keep going.
yeah, let's do it, man. I want to go. We're leaving the screen now. Going into I think the obvious things. We're gonna get spec bumps.
Yep.
Mainly chips from NVIDIA. So NVIDIA was called out specifically on the Bloomberg document from Emily. So good call out there. And then I want to talk about price. I think price obviously is really, really important because they can't come in and make it the same price as the Switch because they're going to murder the Switch sales. I believe at this point they're going to have to coexist for a while. And based off some of what everyone's saying, you're probably going to see a bigger Switch price, whether that's $400, $450, Switch Pro, whatever we want to call it, the newer version.
And the other one, Super
Nintendo Switch.
Super Nintendo
I want
Switch.
that one.
That would be the best.
I want
That sounds
Super
awesome.
Nintendo
Let's
Switch.
talk about the name, Super Nintendo Switch. Like from a branding perspective,
You don't get a half
that's their
chub when you hear
IP. That's
that.
nostalgia.
It is.
So I have a question about what you were just saying. You were saying that I thought that the article actually mentioned that the goal of this, whatever this new Switch is to phase out.
Yeah, I wasn't
the
quite
Switch.
done. So you're,
Okay, okay.
what Emily says is that they're going to coexist for a little bit. The price will be larger on the Pro, and then over time, once the Pro prices come down, they can truly replace the Switch because
That makes
there's a
sense.
price range they have to be in to sustain interest and units being sold. Essentially,
I mean, kind of like what they do with like PlayStation or Xbox. Like they kind of exist.
they sell those at a loss. Nintendo doesn't. So
Yeah,
that's why this
that's the
play
one
makes
thing
the most
Nintendo
sense.
does differently.
Yeah, Nintendo makes money on hardware, whereas the rest of the folks, they're kind of like the car industry, where you make a loss on most cars that you sell, and you make money elsewhere. Cars being service and games being games, or typically are not games. What is it called? Accessories. So remote
Right.
controllers,
Sure.
things that you would, a vision cam, whatever it may be.
It's probably another reason why things like the PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live are so much more expensive because they need to find other ways to recoup their costs.
Nintendo, their money comes from that single purchase, that one-time purchase,
Yeah.
and I think they have pretty high margins.
Yeah.
They're pretty good
I assume,
too.
and they never change the price of their games. Their games come out, they're out for years, and there's the same price. I
And
mean,
you don't get a Steam sale with Nintendo.
No. No. Another thing to point out is what was I going to say? I lost it. Forget it.
No, it's okay.
Ignore
It's
me.
okay. So keep thinking of it. If you think I got your back, I got
Gotcha.
your back. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I know
Do
what
it.
it was.
God
All right.
bless.
So
Bought you
the
some
reason
time.
why Nintendo wanted to make sure that the Switch was at a gain, a profit, is because the Wii U was so much of a flop. So I think it was the Wii U where Nintendo was doing the whole like, hey, I'm going to sell my hardware at a loss. We're going to make up for it in the software.
Failed
Because
miserably.
it failed so bad. They're like, hey, Switch is coming out. We're making sure we're making money on this thing. So that's where that came
Learn
from.
from your mistakes.
Exactly.
The Wii U is probably one of the best things that ever happened to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hadn't tasted failure in quite some time, and they were getting lazy on their morals, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's
They're
totally
on their high horse.
topic.
Yep. Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So the times that this might get announced, I hit it on it earlier. We might see an announcement before E3, and the bulk of E3 now. This is why I think they should release it before.
Yeah.
Will be content for
Yes.
the console.
yeah,
Yes.
because the other way around would be weird.
Oh, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, here's the new console. And by the way, here's all the. But most people know this is happening. Samsung's already leaked that they're selling millions of displays to Nintendo.
Yep.
We've known that this was coming, and that's why Episode 1 was pretty accurate. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, So probably we're talking production in July.
Right.
It has to be. It has to be because it's coming out so soon.
I would say if we're going to see it by October,
Yeah.
right, which is the estimation, right?
I don't think this was in the article, but on Twitter, some creditable sources were saying we could be seeing sales in September,
Oh, wow.
which would be remarkable. That means production started already.
How hard is it going to be to get one of these? Because it's just so hard to get.
Well,
new
I was
PlayStation
actually going to
Xbox.
ask a very similar question. I was going to ask, you were saying NVIDIA is supplying the chips and things. Like, I assume that just like the car industry, just like the PlayStations and the Xboxes and all this other stuff, obviously the NVIDIA in general, if you want to go get an NVIDIA card, good luck. By the way, I've tried for months and couldn't get one.
Oh, it's impossible.
Unless I want to buy it from a scalper for like 3 times the price. They've got to be hit by this. So did they?
Maybe.
Where the hell
I have some
are
thoughts
they
on
making
this.
all these hundreds
So
of thousands?
I have thoughts on this. So 2 months ago, or maybe a little more than a month ago, we heard about the screens being purchased. I think that Nintendo, they might do business differently than other places.
Okay.
Similar to Tesla, there are other vendors that sell these chips. You just got to be able to engineer and get things updated, or they're doing this IKEA route where you buy everything you need way ahead of time, like these simple chips, because they're just little transistors we're talking about.
Sure.
The bulk stuff is that stuff's good in the supply chain. So there's potential that Nintendo has either prepared ahead of time with their supply chains and ordered the things, or they're using different suppliers and they're able to engineer into the motherboards these new transistors.
Really quick, I do want to also point out
Good
that
call out,
Nintendo.
Rich. That's a great call out, though.
So-
And I'm hoping.
Scott brought it up.
Hey, we're all having a good time.
So Nintendo, another thing that we have to remember is like they, regardless of what they're using and what the price is going to be, it's not going to be top of the line graphics cards, and most of the time those will run a little bit cheaper as well. It's not. People want the new thing. They want what's best. The 3060s, 3070s, 3080s, 3090s. Like those are what they want. Now, with that being said, if you try to get something like last generation, it's still going to be pricier than it should be. But that's one thing to note is maybe the demand for what they're getting is going to be less. Another thing is they're not going to be using like an actual like one that you plug into your PC. It's going to be a custom made one for like a tablet. It's another thing to note. I think this is a perfect opportunity to kind of circle back as well into our Pokemon things that we were talking about earlier, because we had one game that we thought was really cool.
Did I not call this out? That
Yes.
this is Switch, and then the Pro is going to be blow your mind.
So going back to what Justin was saying, this is perfect, and it kind of blends in perfectly to what is going to happen at E3 now.
Dude, I can't believe this is going to happen.
I think this is going to be dropped. They're going to announce this a week or two before E3. That's my prediction.
hardware.
Yes. They're going to announce the hardware a week or two before E3, because this game, believe it or not, is coming out January 2022.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
7 months.
Yes.
Just
math.
got confirmed. Another thing, less than a year. We were like, this is beta. Like, there's no way this is going to come out. It's going to get pushed back. They announced January. That's insane. How are they going to do that with the new hardware?
Again, so yeah, you'll get this experience, but it won't look and feel as good as it will be. So they'll say, "Hey, Switch owners, we're not leaving you out. You get the experience, you can play it.
Yes.
But if you want the best version,
dude.
you need to get this new technology." And I said it before. You mentioned it. I would be very happy if they came out with this new technology and then also said we're doubling down on the online experiences for games like this, especially that one. If that's an MMO, or has MMO-esque.
I think it's going to blow our mobile. We're going to be able to play this mobile if it's an MMO.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
MMO, like games like MMO Pokemon, MMO Harry Potter, like these games, like the things that I've liked since I was like a little kid.
Sure.
We're kind of through all of these things. We're getting this, and it's taken this long, but if they can do this, if I can sit on my couch while my wife is watching a show I don't care about, and I can play MMO Pokemon with Scott, and we can go catch Pokemon. I mean, it's
Throw some balls.
35-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
That's their demographic, let's be honest.
So I think
I still
that's
need to catch
my
'em all.
addition here. That's something we haven't got any leaks for. We don't know anything about. Right? I know you touched on it last time, and I, of course, said, like, I hope that's what we see.
Absolutely.
That world has to look like that in order for it to run on the older technology.
I'm glad you're pulling this up because I want to talk
Yeah.
about Zelda really quick.
Yeah, let's-
And I think it dovetails into this hardware release that we're going to see. And this is really the true crown jewel of E3, in my opinion. So I think E3, what we're going to see, this is rumor. This is not in the Bloomberg article. I think we need to differentiate the two.
Sure.
So this is pure speculation, but I believe that they're going to release the Switch sooner than E3. Oh, not release it, but announce it. The Switch Pro, Super Switch Pro, Super Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch Pro.
And then
What are they gonna name it?
E3, they're gonna showcase Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
Potentially the new Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
And then a Smash in 4K. You're gonna see a huge Smash update because they still have a half a season, or maybe a little more left
And
of
Master
characters to
Chief.
release. And then I think you're going to see this Pokemon Legends. Am I naming that right? Legends, the new
Pokemon Legends
Pokemon
Arceus.
Legends.
They're going to get the full-fledged release of that. So E3 is Nintendo's to lose, in my
they're
opinion.
gonna kill it.
Big and
And
true.
this is why I am so confident now that Nintendo, nothing added up before. When I was watching the Nintendo Direct where they announced Skyward Sword HD, the remake, and Mario Golf, which I was literally most excited about, which is not saying much. Like if you do a Nintendo Direct and you haven't done one in like 4 months, like Mario Golf should not be the game that highlights that.
Yeah, they're holding back. They're trying to hold the crown, the jewels.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. They kind of want to piss us off.
They got a
set
treasure
us up.
chest.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I knew something was up when the 35th anniversary or 25th of anniversary Zelda, or whichever one, I think it's 35, I'm sorry, came out and Skyward Sword was the highlight. Now, right after that happened,
That's
people
interesting. You're
people were
right.
getting pissed off and things start getting out like, hey guys, just so you know, like chances are there's a high probability that this is not going to be the only Legend of Zelda game that comes out this year. So then on
Nintendo
top of
said
it,
that, or that was like the general
Nintendo didn't
consensus?
say that,
Okay.
but people that leaked and got everything right in the Direct were saying that.
Okay.
And then
good that
now
looks.
let's add on Pokemon comes out. They got Post Malone on for the 25th anniversary. He did like a concert live. Yeah, this all happened. They announced
a big deal.
They announced Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They announced Pokemon Legends Arceus, which people can say what they want. I mean, we're getting technically 3 Pokemon games in like a 7 or 8 month span. That's insane. And Zelda being such a huge game for them, you knew there was something that they were holding back, and this is what I think is going to happen. They're going to kind of what Justin was saying. I think they're going to show you Breath of the Wild. Now he's saying Breath of the Wild 2. They might give you a little glimpse of it. I think they're going to be like, hey, we got this new hardware coming out. This is what Breath of the Wild, which already looked great, is going to look like.
And it's
like
gonna
almost
listen,
like an HD.
Yeah,
4K
I think
Breath
it
of the
may
Wild.
launch with the Switch. I said that in episode 1.
He did say it.
And if I do that, I hit it on the head on every topic. I think that they're going to release it with Breath of the Wild 2 because they released Breath of the Wild with the original Switch.
Okay, and I defer that. I think they're going to give us an older game that we wanted before. So I
okay,
think it's
okay.
going to be a Wind Waker, maybe Wind Waker Twilight Princess bundle. They might do something crazy where they
It's not a
bring back.
graphical game, though. That doesn't show off the new hardware.
But here's the thing: Nintendo has
This is
already
debate
brought
mode,
in.
debate mode.
They've already brought in all of the Wii U ports of the very successful games. The only ones that they haven't done yet is Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
I think you hold that for another big event. I think that we know that this game is coming, Breath of the Wild 2. They're for sure
think it's too
going to
soon.
give us an update. Because, I think 2 E3s in a row now, or at least the last one, they've shown it.
Only one, yeah.
Yeah, one. Okay. Where I think December, or it's releasing earlier in that September time zone when the console comes out. That's just my prediction. I think there's just this big build up to it, and then that's that home run opportunity.
It is.
I'm just not a big Wind Waker fan. That's probably why I'm not on that camp.
okay.
That's so.
I'd be interested to see what the viewers think. Maybe leave some comments.
Yeah, hey, guys.
Is Justin right?
Love it.
Let us know.
You have
Hey, is
your
Justin
own
right?
opinion?
Is hype right? What are you guys thinking? Like,
Yeah.
what's your take on this? So, if hypothetically, let's say we are right, there is going to be another Zelda game that comes out this year. Where do you think they're going to go with it?
Good questions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we will see Breath of the Wild 2 this calendar year.
Got it.
I don't think so. So we're going to get a bunch. I think we will get announcements. I think we will get updates. Obviously, it's interesting because what I've always found is when I think they're going to make a big announcement, but no one's really said that. We just kind of like hope. That ends up never being the case. And then that comes out a little bit later.
Yeah.
But Breath
They're
of-
known
that
for
said,
moving things.
Breath of the Wild has been out a while. I mean,
has.
it's not like it's a new game.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Didn't they say 2021 in the trailer?
No, they never gave it
We
time.
don't get a date in the trailer?
No.
So that said, I mean, I think that I do agree with Justin though. I think that to give us sort of like the Mario Golf experience with Zelda, you know what I mean? To give us less popular Zelda games wouldn't be bad, but it would almost be worse to get that.
Because we've gotten so many.
Well, I'm just saying it might be worse to get that and not get a Breath of the Wild 2 update of any kind than it would be to get no Zelda data at all. if that makes any sense.
Sure.
They'd
Yeah.
almost, because you'd be disappointed that you're getting something you weren't looking for. But them not saying anything about Breath of the Wild 2, which we're already sure is going to happen, you'll be less inclined to be upset about what they announced, because if they do tell us about a new console, you already know that the games that are going to be coming out, things like Pokemon, which is much bigger than Zelda, really. I mean, if you think about their IPs, we talked about the other day. It's 2 to 4, it's twice as profitable.
Sure.
That's my opinion. So I think it will get announced, but whether or not we see it this calendar year, I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, so I'm
will
going
see
to
the new
agree. I'm
hardware.
agree with both of you guys. I think Breath of the Wild 2 will be in E3.
Okay.
I think we will get a release date. I think it will be 2022.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be holiday 2022. I don't see it coming out anytime
wow.
soon.
Like November.
Only because, all right, think about it this way.
A year and a half from now.
Yes. And the reason why is because the gameplay that we got was like, hey, we're working on this thing. It's a thing. It's happening. They gave us nothing.
Yeah.
They gave us nothing. They gave us a beta, what looked like a beta of Pokemon Legends. And they're saying that's somehow going to come out in January of 2022.
Right.
I just
we got even
don't
less
see.
for Zelda, but we got it earlier than that, though.
That is
right?
true. That is true.
So
Oh, it's gonna look so good on the new Switch, though. The Pro is confirmed. These games will be on.
Yeah, it's happening.
Pokemon's the biggest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say
exactly.
probably the
Right
most passions behind
next to Mario.
Zelda.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mario's going to be
Wii
but Splatoon 3 also huge.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Splatoon 3 is so big. I can't believe how big that game is.
I feel better now that I know that more games are coming out. So,
so much better.
guys, something also historical with Nintendo came the other day. It was a week or two ago. Nintendo reached 100 games on Nintendo Switch Online. Congratulations, Nintendo!
feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good.
100 games.
You want to know what games were added to be like 98, 99, and 100?
Let's hear it.
I don't
So
know
the
the
last
names
three?
of them because I don't care.
There's some.
In all fairness, I mean, I've gone through that catalog quite a bit, and there's only one, maybe two games in the entire list that I not only have I actually played, that I have any interest in.
But
playing.
100 games, Rich. They added 100
Yeah.
games, and you could play them for free, and it's Netflix of gaming.
Well, listen. So I listen. I understand that people are upset about the catalog and what's in there, and what's missing, and Pokemon. All of the Pokemon. I want to play those games. People are going to buy them though, so they're
That's
playing
that
smart,
thing.
but- So I'm going to play devil's advocate
All right,
though.
play devil's
a little
advocate
bit
as we watch
as a premium Xbox experience. Member. I pay $15 a month to get the premium. What the heck's it called?
Game Pass Ultimate.
Game Pass Ultimate for
Yeah.
Xbox. And in all fairness,
Good games, man.
it does have good
only.
games, but most of them aren't good games. I mean, in all fairness, so there are some big ones. I mean, EA partnering with them is great. You
Yeah.
basically can get the entire EA catalog.
I was playing MLB The Show just recently.
There you go.
EA's
So there's a
leaned into
bunch
it.
of different things. So the UFC games, the basketball games, the
yep.
football games, as well as all of their shooters and Battlefront and all of those games. My devil's advocate take on what you're saying is all of these platforms, all the console platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and now Nintendo, that has sort of a free online premium game catalog, has mostly duds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's my
agree
point.
with that.
So I'm paying $20 a month, which is fine. Like I would play.
$20 a year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a year. I would pay more than $20 a year in order to play better games.
I love that point. We actually were talking about this like 2 hours ago with a friend of ours, and I said, what they should do is they should add these games that we want and make it more expensive. Because we will pay for it.
Yes.
Make
More
it
people will buy
$30
it.
a month. Make it twice as much. Make it $40. I'm sorry. Make it $40 a year, twice as much, and give us better games.
But 100 games, Rich.
I think-
100 games. Aren't you happy?
There's a dilemma that Nintendo's in, so I'll be the devil's advocate to your devil's advocate.
Oh.
It's getting dark in
There's
here.
only one devil apparently, or whatever. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, that's good. So for me, I think Nintendo, there are certain IPs that they have that are worth so much money that it doesn't
serve them to give them for
So
free.
it doesn't.
It devalues,
it,
like,
it
the brand.
devalues them completely. So they're trying to throw you some change here, and they're not trying to invest in this too much. So I think for you saying if they put good content in it and charge more, well, how much more? Because if they were to just offer that game on the Switch, you could sell it for $20 a pop
right.
to 1 million people.
Here's the difference,
So
though.
how much would you have to? You probably have to charge $100 a month.
I mean,
To get that, so that's the. I'm not saying it's right, but that's my devil's advocate.
Well,
to your,
well here's my point. As somebody that pays $20 a year for the online Switch platform, if you said it's $40 now and we added all these games, I would pay for it and I would do it. But if you said, hey, you can buy these games for $20, I wouldn't buy them.
Really? All right.
Well, it's the same thing with the. So if you keep it cheap, you can throw away these penny games that no one would ever pay for, and then you get the best of both worlds. I understand what they're doing.
Oh, no, I'm not knocking it.
A lot of advocates in here.
Nick, to Nick's point, and I'm with him. We want a better catalog of games. If you're going to give us, don't celebrate bullshit.
Sure.
Let's celebrate something that's worthwhile.
The
you gotta buy it.
The Wii came out in 2006, I want to believe. You know what you could play on there? Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah.
The Wii U came out.
How'd it work
was
though?
a
How'd you get those 64 games?
You download it from the Wii shop and you paid for them. And
You
I
paid
would,
for 'em.
I would willingly
What's the
pay.
subscription?
It was like $5 to $7 for a game. I would willingly do that.
So they're not even
over
offering
again.
these games
Hell
though.
yeah.
So
my
that's
point.
the big
So
dilemma.
going-
you just want them anyway.
Yes, going to my point. The Wii came out in 2006, and I could play Nintendo 64 games on it.
That's pretty cool.
And technically I could play GameCube games, but that was cross compatibility. Okay, so the Wii U comes out, and we could play once again Nintendo 64 games thanks to the eShop. I think they even had Wii games as well.
Let's go. Boot up
Now
the-
let's go to the Switch.
Okay.
The Switch comes out on launch. You couldn't play anything besides Switch games. After a few months, maybe 6 months, 12 months, they announced NES games. You could play NES games. Congratulations.
They like skipped all the good stuff in between.
6 to 12 months later, you can play Super Nintendo games now. We got Legend of Zelda. What is it?
Link to the Past.
A Link to the Past. Thank you. A Link
yeah.
to the Past. We got Donkey Kong. Like those are good games.
Those
Like
are the
don't
two
get me
I
wrong.
downloaded, by the way.
Yeah,
Donkey
the two
Kong
games that I
is
care
so
about.
good. It's still good.
The only and then what happened after that? I have no idea. You want to know why? I haven't
tell you.
even looked.
Can't tell you.
So
I have looked. I mean, there's like Punch Out, like
Sure.
there's the big ones, 100 games. Yeah, I downloaded I think 3.
I was so excited for the Nintendo Switch because I couldn't wait to play my Nintendo 64 games and my GameCube games. The GameCube games that I loved growing up on this portable system that I could take anywhere and have fun.
Sure.
Haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah.
So
It's almost this like Pokemon card value over time type of thing is where if they vault these things for so long, the value goes up so much.
Yeah,
yeah, but
collecting
when are
the-
you
the
gonna
cartridges.
when are you gonna redeem them though? Because right now, the only people that are profiting right now is scalpers. Nintendo's getting nothing right now for doing this, and that's what it comes down
Well,
to.
the
Like,
digital rights, they have it. My point being is that, yeah, you can get the 64 cartridge or whatever it is. But the fact that cumbersome way exists and that's the only way to do it, that makes just the IP itself value go up. So if they do release it, how much money can it? So
Yeah,
from a
but
business
when?
standpoint, you can turn that valve on whenever you need some capital. So it's actually smart business. It's not fun as a lover of the series.
I don't think so,
But-
dude. I don't think. How are you going to profit though if you never release it?
Well-
it's been 4 years.
Well, you don't know what they're going to do.
And yeah, in all fairness, I mean, I don't think that's the point. I think they do plan to release them or give you different ways to do it. But then to Hawes's point, the longer you wait, the more you'll want it, the more you're willing to pay, the more the demand goes up. I mean, it's literally basic economics.
Supply and demand.
It is a little annoying.
It is
But
annoying.
when you're running a business, I see what Hawes is saying. It does make a business. It does make business sense.
What they're
It's
doing
just
is
annoying to us
working.
who just want the good content and want to play it.
Yeah. You're just passionate. You want to play it.
I
but
want
it-
Fire Red so bad. I want to play
Once
Fire
again,
Red so bad.
Let's talk about the 3DS really quick. The 3DS
Let's do
had
it.
Pokemon Yellow, had Pokemon Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, Crystal. The 3DS.
Oh yeah,
The Holy Trinity.
Guess what games are not on the Switch?
Those games.
Those games.
Man, trust me, I did the unlock and did the free store, not the e-store, the free store. I played
have
all
the-
those games.
I just have the games.
This is
The
why
Game Boy.
people have emulators.
Just works fine.
Just saying.
Didn't have Fire Red though.
So what's the difference between Fire Red and Red for the casuals? And
Yeah,
non-
it's the Game Boy Color equivalent, basically, with slightly upgraded
Game Boy
graphics.
Advance.
So
Game
it
Boy
was
Advance.
Game Boy Advance. There you go.
Okay, so
Slightly
it was
upgraded.
the small cartridge.
Yes.
Okay.
Those were tiny.
It was a slightly upgraded version of basically the exact same game, but just like slightly better graphics.
You know,
like
I kind of
just say slightly
forgot
one
that
more
those
time.
games were like.
I know. I looked into it. I was like,
because they were
"Man,
for Game Boy Pocket.
I really want to
Game Boy.
play these games because I played the originals. I love them, and I like Gen 1 for the most
Yeah.
part. So,
Really,
like,
really quick, I do want to give a shout out to Cryzen. Cryzen is the person that they basically like completely redid from like the ground up Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
This
Yeah.
is cool.
This is freaking amazing. This is obviously running on the PC, but like, all right, Nintendo.
It looks like Breath of the Wild.
I
it looks
know, it does.
amazing. It looks amazing. And
looks like
Nintendo,
Tiny
hey,
Link.
Look how fun this is.
if your strategy right now is to do what Justin and Rich were saying, you just want to make me as mad and angry as possible. So right when it comes out, I'm gonna give you all my money. Like I understand that, but
gonna
hey,
burst.
if
There's
you're
so
gonna
much-
do that, give us this.
He's on the edge.
They have so much
Give
pent
us
up demand
this,
that people are
please.
emulating
He's
the
about
game.
to coom.
People love this game.
Yes.
I played the upgraded version for on my
DS.
my 3DS.
Yeah, your 3DS.
And I like it. In all fairness, though, this looks way
Yeah.
better. This
Oh, yeah, for sure.
looks like a completely different game.
That Unreal Engine is very impressive.
It
And
is
It's very
impressive.
malleable.
There's a couple of new games unrelated to Nintendo coming out that I think
Yeah,
when are we getting to those today?
Let's do that right now. So
We're gonna get
guys,
into it now. Oh, sweet.
guys, listen. All right, in case no one knew, I'm a fan of scary games.
What are they? Horror games?
He's a horror.
games.
He's a horror streamer.
He's a
I'm
horror.
a horror
But you know, it's
streamer.
like I said, 2021. We're not judging.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you.
Your clip from last week starts with "I'm a horror."
I'm a horror. Someone's gonna clip that and just have it on repeat. Horror.
That's gonna be my new text alert. Horror. Nick
Let's see
text you.
them horror titties.
Guys, there is a game
What?
that goes by the name of the Dead by the Daylights.
Oh,
Dead by the Day.
Dead by Daylights, and they got people like Freddy Krueger in it.
This game scares me.
does he have a
Does
sweater on?
What?
Does he have his
Yeah. Oh,
sweater?
he looks just like him.
He,
Yeah.
he looks
I
just
think
like
I've
There's
seen
not
this.
about
This
that
is not-
life.
This is not a pleasant game.
I've been scarred since
This
he
is a great
ate that
game.
bitch.
the object of Dead by Daylight. For anybody that doesn't know, is you got 4 people that are survivors. You got 1 person that's the killer. Okay. You can meet up with your friends. You could go single player, like in different by yourself or solo, or whatever you want to do. And the goal of the game is to get like, I think it's like 5 generators, turn them on. After that happens, you open up a door, you escape. Okay. So
Is that Jason?
No,
what?
that's Resident
It looks like it's Resident Evil.
what
Sure.
this is? is we got good old
Nemesis,
Jill
right?
Valentine. You got
Nemesis?
Leon Kennedy,
Yep.
and you got Nemesis being the killer, and all these people are available. And there's actually a beta
This
out
Capcom,
right
though?
now. Yeah, this is Capcom.
Okay.
Yep. There's a beta out right now, so you can play this. And look, we're back in Raccoon City Police Department. So if you ever played Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3, you know this. Like you know this
I
area.
recognize
There's
that
so
area.
much heat on Resident Evil right
Ooh,
now.
right there. There's a little cap, and that was the code for one of the combinations, to one of the lockers. Like they
Resident Evil
kept
movie.
everything.
Dude,
I want to see the
True to the roots.
Love this. First of all, Nemesis is my favorite Resident Evil big bad, I guess. This game is scary as hell. The other thing I think is really cool about Dead by Daylight is that in terms of the horror aspect,
The horror aspect. Yep.
Horror.
Yep.
it's
Horror.
not necessarily a new idea, right? Because the idea is you're survivors, you're fighting bad zombie things, or things are trying to kill you, and then your goal is to escape, whatever, and have to do something collaborative to do it. But what was cool about this is it's almost Smash-esque in its ability to include
Yes.
characters, in this case, in a very in that lane of the horror genre. So it's got a character, I can't remember his name, but he's wearing a white shirt and a red tie. That would match up against the character that you can play in Left 4 Dead, and that character is a reference to Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
So
Another
a lot
good
of
zombie
this
series. Look at this.
Exactly. So a lot of stuff like this, and that's why it makes so much sense for something like Resident Evil.
Dude, I love that.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've never seen first-person view from the
Oh.
demon himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
And-
those things are chasing you, it is scary as hell. Like I've played it a few times, and it first of all is super hard.
Yeah.
To be the survivors, I've never won as a survivor.
Really?
I've lost every single
man.
time. I own this game, and I forgot that I had it.
Yeah.
We should play it sometime.
Dude,
Can
I'd
I
be
play
so
with-
down.
can
With
I play
Game
with-
Pass.
Exactly. Can I play it with you on a stream?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
that'd
I'd be
great.
so
The
down.
power of the cloud.
I'd be so down.
Let's go.
Another cool
2021,
thing.
am I right? Man, building that network.
Another cool thing that that Rich was talking about.
An asshole.
Sorry. Sorry. The Nemesis just punched Jill in the back of the head.
Did
thought it
he
was a
donkey punch?
He was like,
Dude, this is what I was. The donkey punch. I told you guys made fun of me
Here we
last
go.
week.
Bring it
I don't believe in hurting donkeys.
Really quick, another person that you could be talking about collabs are from Stranger Things. You could be Steve Harrington of Stranger Things.
oh, with his
fun.
back.
and the Demigorgon is also in this
Oh,
game.
But can you be 11?
No.
Steve Harrington though? That he's
Stranger Things.
I know what you mean.
Stranger Things is great. Season 4 will be out soon, and it's gonna be great. It'll be October, I think.
Those kids are growing pretty quick. They need to
There's the
figure
cat
out what
blocker
they're
in the
doing.
code.
Nick, obviously you're a horror streamer.
Yes.
Are you a fan of horror movies as well?
I am. I like anything scary.
Well, after the podcast today, we'll talk really quickly about some horror movies. It's one of my favorite things to do with some of my friends from high school. We literally would hang out, get drunk, watch a scary movie,
Yeah.
and then fall asleep sweating because we're so scared.
This is a really good scary movie.
Because they forgot to turn the air on.
A couple
Yeah,
things.
sounds like.
A couple things I want to point out. We noticed Nemesis, and he was hitting certain things, and purple
What?
was coming out. So there was the donkey punch. All right, so
Rip.
really quick, I want to pause that because
Sorry, not rich.
one of the things that when you are a killer in this game is survivors can put down those blocks, and essentially it makes it so they have time to escape. And the killer needs to kind of chop them down. It takes like 4 or 5 seconds before they can start chasing them again. Nemesis, one of his things that he has at his disposal is he can use that slick like whip type thing, and essentially what it does is it gets rid of it right away. So the 4 to 5 seconds that the cooldown that normally most killers have, he doesn't have anymore. Another thing is you
can
were seeing
remove it.
zombies. What?
You can remove it. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing is you see those zombies right there?
Yeah.
Okay, so those things will attack the survivors. So you not only do you have to worry about Nemesis when you're on this map, you also have to worry about the zombies.
Weird, which is not something that's a Nemesis specific trait, right?
Super, super
Because he's
new.
kind of a hybrid. He's a human, he's conscious, and he's also a zombie.
Now-
He's kind of like an ultra.
But he can make
zombie,
decisions,
the-
where
I think-
zombies
Right.
I think the idea is
He's
they're
a
saying-
tyrant.
Yeah, the idea is, hey, we've put them in the Resident Evil universe.
Yes.
And the thing that makes Resident Evil is the shambling zombies. So I think not including them would have been an oversight.
Yeah.
And a question that I have is are the zombies specific to this map or are they specific to Nemesis? I don't know the answer to that. One thing that I do want to point out really quick that we just saw was he used his whip, that purple whip, to kill the zombie. And the reason why this is so significant is because Nemesis also has a thing where he could basically turn into a more powerful killer by him killing zombies, and I think also using those on the survivors. So
Like a
he has
buff.
tiers. He has tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, and the more tiers, the higher tier he gets, the more powerful he gets, and eventually just becomes unstoppable. Which is super, super cool, and once again, an only Nemesis thing.
Yeah, but what about the
Big dick
humans?
swinging.
Yeah, I love I
That-
love the map. So the humans are also
Upgradable.
Other, well,
Yes.
That's what I'm
go
referring
ahead.
to, I guess.
So each human has their own specific traits that are different from everybody else.
Great.
Now,
That's
Leon and Jill do have their own. I cannot remember them. I can't
Oh, you're
remember
fine.
them off the top of my head. But dude, when this guy announced, I was excited for it. When they showed gameplay and showed these perks that these people have, I was like, this is amazing.
And the
Yes.
location, the fact that you're in Raccoon City is incredible.
It's so nostalgic.
As far as zombies go and video games go, I mean, Resident Evil is kind of starts and ends.
first
as far as I'm
Resident Evil was
concerned. Don't get me wrong, I love Left 4
amazing.
Dead. I think Left 4 Dead is my favorite zombie-esque
Yeah,
game
sure.
because I like the horde and the way that the director in
My
that
first
game-
time learning about zombies was Resident Evil 1.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean for
It
sure.
was an established genre by the time that game came out. You know what I mean?
So
just
it really
what-
was, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean the game, I mean the original Resident Evil game, and we talked about it obviously already
Yes,
on the
yeah.
podcast. Like just that door
It deserves
opening
it,
in
man.
that black like cutscene is so scary.
Well, that first zombie when it's on the body and it turns around, that's the one that got me. It was right when you take Jill upstairs and you go in the first room up there on the left. Oh my gosh, it's terrifying.
Dude, getting like herbs and stuff and the plants, you're like, what the hell is this for?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I remember.
I couldn't tell you then, but I
don't
can
know.
now.
Yeah.
You like and another thing I like about Resident Evil is it doesn't handhold. It's like, hey, you
doesn't.
literally might never figure these things out, and we're not going to tell you.
And if you don't do it now, if you don't
Have
do
fun.
it,
Figure
if you
it
don't
out.
do it now and do it right, later on it won't work, and you will literally have to go back.
Yep.
Those were the best kind of games, though. Like
Yeah.
games that were hard.
Well, because
Like,
Yes.
they're
And the
non-
ammo economy.
They're,
Oh my gosh.
They're
it's brutal.
non-linear. They're non-linear linear games.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like it's not just go, 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 go. I'm done. It's like go. Maybe you better do the right thing. Go.
Yeah.
but
Fork
shit, I
in the
gotta go
road
back.
here, fork in the road there. Yeah.
Man, should I go in this store? Maybe there's awesome supplies in here. Maybe I'll get weapons. Maybe there's 4 zombies in here. I don't know. Yeah, the game was super unforgiving.
Yep.
And it taught me how to be a gamer.
Yeah.
To be honest,
taught
like
me
that-
a lot about life.
Yeah, and it taught,
Tell me a lot about
and it
life.
taught me what it was like for the manager of the video game store to hit when he hits on your mom.
When he rips a book up.
Congrats on the sex to him.
One thing I do want to point out before we move on to the next topic, this game, the map itself, they kind of said too, like if you know Resident Evil 2, if you know Resident Evil 3, you're automatically going to have an advantage because it is that true to scale.
Wow.
So that map is exactly how Raccoon City Police Department is. So like if you know that in the back of your head, me being a speedrunner, like I like to think that I know the map. Like I'm excited because every time I play Dead by Daylight, I never know where I'm going.
Buddy. Not only do I not know where I'm going, every time I turn a corner, the monster's there, and I'm like, oh well, I'm dead again. I'm glad I'm playing this game.
This is the game where when it's daylight, you can explore, and at night you got to hide.
No,
the zombie game.
I mean, from my experience of this, is it's literally like
Oh.
there's just certain points when the zombie spawns, and then he like gets you and like incapacitates you, like hangs you on meat
got it.
hooks and stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there's another perk that Nemesis has. He essentially right when you like start up the game, one of his perks is like he knows where you guys are for about 5 seconds.
Oh my god!
So Rich is
I'm already
screwed.
terrible.
Rich is
Dude got wall hacks. All right, cool.
all right. So there's one more game that I do want to talk about, and
Yeah, let's do it.
Rich mentioned him being a fan of it before.
Yeah.
So why not bring in another thing that's going on right now? Rich, do you want to just talk about this one?
I do want to talk about it a little bit. So obviously this is Back for Blood, and what I actually really like that name. Not only is there obviously some homage to Left 4 Dead with the 4 in there, but it's kind of like, hey, we're back.
There it is.
And
We're
obviously
back.
it's not the 4th game. It's the 3rd game. 'Cause there are 2 Left 4 Dead games. And I love the idea of like, first of all, fighting the Horde, having this collaborative process similar to Dead by Daylight, really.
Yeah.
The only difference, of course, is there are very individual characters that have individual skills and individual character traits that make them useful or less useful in certain situations. So this one, I mean, it looks, I mean, obviously from the creators of Left 4 Dead. By the way, those games are incredible. If you've never
Turtle
played
Rock
them.
Studios.
Really good.
Yeah, there you go. So what they do, I think, really well is they. I don't.
Fair.
What they do really well is they make games feel really satisfying. So like the weapons are devastating enough to make you feel like you're actually doing something, but not effective. So effective that everything's just really easy. Especially with there's a character in here that's like a marksman. Obviously, he's going to be really great if you can hit your shots. But of course, he's not going to be clearing the horde, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, more
this game-
strategical.
this group of developers, at least in terms of getting incapacitated, like you just saw that guy held down. I think that mechanic is really good. But these developers do a really good job not taking themselves seriously.
Yes.
And having just watched Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, that movie takes itself super serious, but also like pretends like it doesn't care, and that does not work. But they're just like, we're just kidding around. We're just hitting zombies with baseball bats. You know, it's supposed to be a game, and they make this game that has like a story and you know, character development a total joke, but you're also like killing zombies and there's blood and gore everywhere. And I think that combination works really well. That's honestly why I think something like Shaun of the Dead works so well.
Yeah. Another thing, yeah, kind of like how you were already saying, the whole teamwork aspect. It's a thing that you don't really get in a lot of games. It Takes Two is one that just came out recently, where it's 2 people, you're playing together and like you're working together the entire game. Dead by Daylight, another game, 4 people versus 1 person. This game is once again like that, where it's like you're helping each other out, right? You're trying. If somebody goes down, you could heal them. If I remember correctly. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it's like TF2 a little bit, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like particular characters that you pick have particular characteristics that allow you to, do one thing, like you said, heal, or maybe just be the guy with the sniper rifle, or a person that's just going to use like a chain gun. You take down what did it call them? The Ridden? Is that what it referred to them
I have
as?
no idea.
Basically, like the group of like super zombies, which is something they pulled directly from Left 4 Dead, because they had like the Boomer, which is just a big fat guy that blew up. And
Yes.
called the Horde.
I remember that one.
The Smoker, who had like a super long tongue, and if he got you, he would
All that's
incapacitate.
Left 4 Dead,
The
man.
Hunter,
ladies'
who
man.
would dive out of the air, which we saw that animation almost exactly.
Saves them some time in developing. It's,
In here, they definitely copied some ideas, which is okay. And then, of course, the tank, which is like that big muscly dude that like is big. Well, he's a bullet sponge. He's a big bullet tank, and very strong, but a little slow and hard to take down. So. It seems like there's a lot of similarities. Honestly, I think if you've played Left 4 Dead or have any idea what it is, this game is going to be like, oh yeah, I know how to play this. I know how to do it.
4K, let's go.
Yeah,
It
Bridge,
looks so good.
Did you play the second one? I want to say when I was researching this up, it was like Turtle Rock Studios. They made the first one. They were a small company at the time.
Yeah.
They made this first one. It blew up. Then the second one came out, but I don't think it was necessarily that studio again. It might have been. I don't know if you noticed anything maybe a little bit different when you were playing the second one.
No, I mean I played the first one quite a bit more than the second
Okay.
one. I know that we're gonna wrap up here soon, so I'll finish this. But I played the first one quite a bit, like 600 hours or something. I played a lot of it. I didn't play the second one as much. The problem with the second one was. So there's two different in the first game. There's two different tiers of weapons. There's a tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 would be like the sniper rifle and like pistols, and then like the single shot buckshot shotgun. But then there was a tier 2 set. So the people that played really well wouldn't even turn on tier 2 weapons because it was too easy. It was like an auto shot. You can walk into a horde of zombies and just go.
There's a lot of one shot going
Just
on in that
hold it
game. I
down and
remember
just
that.
like bam, 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 and you could just clear out a whole horde of zombies.
That
which
was on
is-
2.
No, in one.
Okay.
So the
It
thing
wasn't balanced right, basically.
yeah, so people wouldn't even use and you had that opportunity. The issue that I remember having with the second game, other than it just the maps weren't as good and all that, is that the weapons were too powerful.
Okay.
So it made it less fun because it wasn't as challenging, and it just didn't catch on in the same way. So I mean, it wasn't a bad game. A buddy of mine played it like 2,500 hours. He played the absolute
Got his
crap out of
money's
that game.
worth. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
A couple days.
he's
Just a little bit.
he was absolutely
deal.
incredible at it, and I mean he barely put anything into Left 4 Dead 2 just because certain upgrades and things they made it not work as well. It wasn't as, like you said, it wasn't as balanced in the second.
And-
Sequels are hard.
One fun fact I do want to point out: Valve is the producer.
I
and
was gonna say,
developer.
yeah,
So
so
they did number 2.
I thought that for some reason,
Yep.
but I didn't want to interrupt you.
I thought Valve definitely was the publisher of Left 4 Dead, the original game.
Okay,
100%, and Left 4 Dead 2. I'm almost.
I want to say Valve then took full reins then for the second one because Turtle Rock Turtle Rock is not in.
You're right. So Left 4 Dead 1 was Turtle Rock Studios, Certain Affinity, and Valve, and then Left 4 Dead 2, strictly Valve.
Strictly Valve. I think Turtle Rock probably. This is my guess, and I
Outbought
could be
some
wrong.
employees.
Turtle Rock had Left 4 Dead. It was really good. Valve probably put their name on it so it would get published. That's my guess.
Good, possible.
And
Good call.
and on second one, it was a huge success. The first one was a huge success. Valve was like, kind of got rights to this. We're a huge company. We're just gonna publish the second one ourselves.
Yeah, and it's kind of what I think people do with a lot of games. I mean, that when Valve is involved, so like Half-Life, people have been looking for Half-Life 3 for 25 years.
Alex
So-
came out and people like flipped their shit. Yeah.
So I think when Valve is involved, that tends to happen. Like they do start to take over. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a detriment to the game, but for some reason things don't happen. So like Back 4 Blood, the name of this game, in my opinion, is literally like, suck it. We wanted to make 3 and you wouldn't let us.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think this is almost gonna be like a homage or like an anniversary of the original. Like, hey, it's our turn now.
Yeah.
We're back.
And they
We're
brought the
doing it
heat.
our way.
They really did bring the heat.
It literally looks like Left 4 Dead 1, but just like bigger and better. Everything, like you said, 4K. I mean, look at the graphics, like
looks-
the gameplay.
How long has
Good.
it been since Left 4 Dead 2? a decade, right?
Came out in the 360.
I will tell you in just a moment. Left 4 Dead 2 came out in 2009.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're talking 12 years. That's pretty incredible. That's a long time. So it's I find it very one, I enjoy that they're keeping the same play style and they're really paying homage to this older franchise that was really, really
Well,
good.
there's only 4 characters in the original, I'm pretty sure. 4, maybe 5, but there's like 12 in this one. So there's a bunch of different aspects that you can play, and I think that's them upgrading the ideas.
Yeah, and it
That's
kinda,
probably- yeah.
it reminds me of that game you play, that massive online game that's made from Titanfall.
Oh,
Time-
Apex. Legends.
Apex, like the different types of character loadouts.
Titanfall.
More is better, and I think they've learned they can take example from these other games in their last 12 years and go, what can we add that other games have been doing that is successful to our already awesome, I would say, game experience. And I think that robustness is going to make replayability a lot funner. You're going to have different loadouts. It's going to be great.
That's the other thing too. So I'll talk about this really quick, and then I'll be good. But so the thing that made Left 4 Dead, at least the original, I can't speak to 2 as much, but the thing that made that game so unique and groundbreaking was this thing called the Director. So the Director was what generated the zombies, where they came from, how many there would be, their movements, that kind of thing. So the reason that's important is because the way that it was designed was you would have a general idea where they were going to come from, like, especially like certain events, in the map as you progress through it. But like certain things that you would do, which are various, you could just shoot in the corner or something. You would sort of awake the horde, and then it would very randomly generate these zombies. Sometimes it would be just like a few, and you'd be like, "What the hell?" Sometimes it would be an outrageous amount,
Just random,
but it was totally
RNG.
random and very and it was called the Director, and that was really, really, really groundbreaking for a zombie game, because normally it's just like 12 zombies come out of here, 8 zombies come out of here,
Yeah,
1 comes out
like,
of here.
what's that mode on Call of Duty? Zombies.
Oh,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
it's
had
called
that stuff
zombies.
down.
Which
I was like,
one?
I'll go to this one to repair
Really
this one, to
tough.
go over here, get some spawns.
So,
and you generally,
my guess is we're gonna see that. I mean, you can kind of, as you watch, like, it doesn't seem to be like the same in all of those scenes. Like, it's sometimes like that last scene where they're fighting that tank type type monster.
Yeah.
There's not any zombies, but look at this area. There's
It's
a ton.
a horde.
And then they also scale it up based on the number of people that are playing. And my guess is they're the same set of people. It's like 4 characters. My guess is, even if you're just playing by yourself, so you get some.
so is it max 4 at a time, or can you go in with all the different character loadouts? We don't know that yet.
My
probably.
guess is you can't go in with all of them.
4
and that's-
sounds right.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason, you
Scaling
see
the game up, the maps up would be difficult. If
Well,
you,
you
had
see
7.
4 in a lot of this, but I think the reason you wouldn't be able to do that is because in a game like this, in a collaborative game, even a board game version of this kind of thing, who you pick matters. The composition of your team matters. So if you pick all of like the damage characters, you better be incredible and not go down, because you're not going to have the
screwed.
medic.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say really quick, I want to point out, now I understand why they kept on showing us a character. They're like, hey, this is a character. This is a character. The reason why is because before there was only 4. And now they're like, hey, we got all these characters now.
Yeah, it's like
Get
literally like
pumped for
12.
them.
There's so many.
I want to be
What if
Jim.
you could do like a 4v4
Well, that was what was awesome about
point
versus?
system?
I don't know.
No, point
I would-
system maybe, or versus.
That's what was really incredible about Left 4 Dead, was that you could be the infected or you could be the survivors, and you fought each other.
I didn't know that.
So a lot of the time it's this online play. I mean, I loved that game. It was really, really great. And if you knew what you were doing, you could destroy the infected.
Now I know we haven't been doing this, at least on this episode, but I am curious who would buy, who would rent.
I'm
who
gonna
would
buy
wait on
this
the
game.
sale.
Yeah, so I wanted, let's start this new thing. We're going to call it the hype meter. How hyped are we on, scale 1 to 10, how hyped are we for this game?
I'm gonna buy it. I would say I'm probably somewhere on a 7 out of 10.
You're at a
on my
7
hype
right
meter.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm a gentleman's 3.
Gentleman's 3.
I don't really like zombie games. It's
not your game?
They give me anxiety, like having to kill everything, and it just like when I played zombies or
Yeah.
whatever you want to
Call of Duty Zombies.
Call of Duty-
What was that game?
Yeah, it used to stress me out so much. And like, I was okay at it, but I was just like,
Yeah.
My
fuck
cylinders fire. That's when I
don't
need to
like
do
it.
20 things.
I'm
I
overstimulated.
like
Yeah.
the
Sure.
stimulation.
I'm like in the middle between you two, because I have enjoyed the first and second iteration
Dead.
of this game. Loved them, and I did play zombies, but I'm just not into it like I used to be. Like I don't even watch Walking Dead anymore. I'm not even into that. I stopped watching it after they killed Glenn, ripped it.
still
Glenn.
walking.
Glenn died?
Sorry. My bad.
It's still good though.
But anyways, I would say 5.
5.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm somewhere in between Justin, Johnny Appleseed. I'm sorry, Johnny
No, it's
Appleseed.
okay. I
Johnny
forgive you.
Appleseed.
Don't do it again.
Scotty two
And
tits.
Rich, I'm probably like a 5.5, maybe 6. I'm like not really going Super Saiyan yet. I'm just getting excited.
Is this
Okay.
horror enough for you?
Yeah, apparently not. It's Kaioken. You're
I want
Kaioken.
to see more. I want to see more. I like what I'm seeing. I'm
want me to stream
intrigued.
it?
What?
When I get it, you want me to stream it?
Yeah.
All right,
Please.
we'll do it.
Feel free to follow.
That's some good content.
We'll YouTube stream it. There it is. That's our next
Oh
iteration.
my god.
man.
Are we? Is this a thing now?
When
are
the
we
game
calling
comes out
it?
in October, I will YouTube stream it to the Hype Stadium YouTube channel for the multiplayer.
I want to do it
podcast.
too, so I'll do some Nintendo content. I want to stream as well. I
Can
should
be a
have
mod?
Starlink by
I want to be
July.
a mod.
All right, we got it. All right, we'll do
We're
it.
in.
I don't want to stream it.
Let's keep it clean.
And on that note, and on that note, guys,
Yes.
thank you for being with us on episode 5 of multiplayer mode. I hope everybody has a great night. I'm gonna finish this Jigglypuff coffee,
Kirby.
and
Thanks.
gonna work out.
It's Kirby.
Have a good one, everybody.
Like and subscribe. Adios.
Plant those seeds with your friends.
Bye.